Meet Meet the new One Expert. Redesigned and improved to cater your needs. Developed by the Department of Science and Technology, One Expert is a one-stop portal for your S&T needs and requests. Search for an expert. With a database of S&T experts, One Expert allows you to search them by name, location, expertise, or affiliation. Apply for consultancy or training online. One Expert is your online link to DOST's consultancy and training programs related to manufacturing productivity, food safety, agriculture and aquaculture productivity, and energy management. Learn from a series of free webinars from the comfort of your home. Brought to you by our lineup of experts, Expert O or Experts Online comes up with interesting and informative webinars exploring the field of science, technology, and innovation. Post your inquiries at One Expert Opportunities. Inquiries posted on this page are visible to all registered experts as well as DOST personnel nationwide. Get access to relevant science and technology-related materials and resources through DOST SCII's publication Bridge and its online library, Starbucks. Download our mobile applications now. One Expert PH, One Expert Lite, and most importantly, One Chat. This messaging platform aims to connect clients to experts and DOST staff with ease. To enjoy all these features, create your One Expert account now at www.oneexpert.gov.ph. Be part of this growing science and technology community. Meet the new One Expert. Redesigned and improved to cater your needs. Developed by the Department of Science and Technology, One Expert is a one-stop portal for your S&T needs and requests. Search for an expert. With a database of S&T experts, One Expert allows you to search them by name, location, expertise, or affiliation. Apply for consultancy or training online. One Expert is your online link to DOST's consultancy and training programs related to manufacturing productivity, food safety, agriculture and aquaculture productivity, and energy management. Learn from a series of free webinars from the comfort of your home. Brought to you by our lineup of experts, Expert O or Experts Online comes up with interesting and informative webinars exploring the field of science, technology, and innovation. Post your inquiries at One Expert Opportunities. Inquiries posted on this page are visible to all registered experts as well as DOST personnel nationwide. Get access to relevant science and technology-related materials and resources through DOST SCII's publication Bridge and its online library, Starbucks. Download our mobile applications now. One Expert PH, One Expert Lite, and most importantly, One Chat. This messaging platform aims to connect clients to experts and DOST staff with ease. To To enjoy all these features, create your One Expert account now at www.oneexpert.gov.ph. Be part of this growing science and technology community. Meet the new One Expert. Redesigned and improved to cater your needs. Developed by the Department of Science and Technology, One Expert is a one-stop portal for your S&T needs and requests. Search for an expert. With a database of S&T experts, One Expert allows you to search them by name, location, expertise, or affiliation. Apply for consultancy or training online. One Expert is your online link to DOST's consultancy and training programs related to manufacturing productivity, food safety, agriculture and aquaculture productivity, and energy management. Learn from a series of free webinars from the comfort of your home. Brought to you by our lineup of experts, Expert O or Experts Online comes up with interesting and informative webinars exploring the field of science, technology, and innovation. Post your inquiries at One Expert Opportunities. Inquiries posted on this page are visible to all registered experts as well as DOST personnel nationwide. Get access to relevant science and technology-related materials and resources through DOST SCII's publication bridge and its online library, Starbucks. Download our mobile applications now. One Expert PH, One Expert Lite, and most importantly, One Chat. This messaging platform aims to connect clients to experts and DOST staff with ease. To enjoy all these features, create your One Expert account now at www.oneexpert.gov.ph. Be part of this growing science and technology community.
Of DOST Region 6, your moderator for today. We would like to start this activity with an opening prayer led by Mr. Julius Gaviota, Science Research Specialist 1 of DOST Region 6. Sir Julius.
Okay, let us now pray. Today, we will be starting the second day of webinar series for our MSMEs. We want to thank you, Lord, for all the blessings we have received this far. We thank you also for giving us the opportunity to come together and learn on this momentous day. May you bless the speakers from UP Visayas and the organizers from DOST 6 so that all their goals will be achieved. May you bless the participants so that they will be able to glean significant knowledge that they can apply and adopt the technologies that will help their businesses recover and grow during these trying times. May you bless all people behind this activity that they may continue to help other people for God and humanity. We ask all this in your mighty name. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Gabiota. At this point, let us welcome Dr. Ricardo Babaran, Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Visayas, for an opening message.
Good morning. I warmly welcome you to the online orientation on UPV developed technologies in collaboration with the OST Region 6 and the Technology Transfer and Business Development Office of UPV. This event is in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and how both agencies can provide technical assistance to micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, to help them bounce back from economic loss. Continuing to lead the way in the fields of fisheries and aquatic sciences in the Visayas region and the country, UPV has been undertaking various research and development projects for the development of technology that are now ready for commercialization. We endeavor to offer this event as a platform for the exchange of information and ideas that will introduce possible business opportunities for MSMEs. I hope that as we listen and actively participate in this online orientation, we take into consideration the key points of the discussions to increase our knowledge and spark our interests to create breakthrough and innovative business ventures for the attainment of progress in the country, especially during this time of pandemic. May this event keep us aligned to UPV's commitment for public service for nation building. Padayon, and once again, good morning.
Thank you, sir. So to start things off, we would like to acknowledge our Google Meet participants as well as our viewers through the One Expert portal. We have participating MSMEs from different provinces in Western Visayas, DOST personnel, our colleagues from other regions, state universities and colleges, and the directors of the different regional offices. We acknowledge the presence of Engineer Rowan R. Hilonga, Regional Director of Department of Science and Technology, Region 6, and Dr. Ricardo P. Babaran, Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Visayas. It is our pleasure to have you here, sirs and ma'ams. The webinar series Business Opportunities for MSMEs in Fisheries Sector is an initiative of DOST 6 to provide business opportunities to MSMEs and would-be technopreneurs. This activity is also an opportunity for researchers to showcase new technologies developed, in this case, the UPV technologies and funded by DOST. These technologies are ready for commercialization and may be adapted by interested party. According to the 2018 statistics of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, Region 6 is the top 5 producer of aquaculture products nationwide. Aquaculture production includes brackish water fish pond, fresh water fish pen, and fish cage in fresh and marine waters, and mariculture of oyster, mussel, and seaweeds. Aquaculture production is the hope of our nation in food security, knowing that there is a decrease on fish catch due to various reasons such as overfishing and degradation of habitats, among others. However, the onset of COVID-19 pandemic and enhanced quarantine measures has resulted to economic recession and experience globally. In Region 6, every business establishments and individuals struggle for health as well as economic survival. Even the aquaculture industry was not spared from this. The Department of Science and Technology Region 6, in collaboration with the University of the Philippines Visayas, came up with this webinar to provide technical assistance to MSMEs in the field of aquaculture. UPV, being the leader in sciences and fisheries, has undertaken research and development to provide solutions to pressing problems in the aquaculture industry. DOST's initiative on webinar aims to bring science and technology practitioners closer to people and facilitate the technology transfer and commercialization. Before we begin, we just have a few reminders for all. Everyone is in listen mode except for the speaker and the moderator during the presentation. Refrain from making unnecessary sound or visual that may disrupt the presentation. Kindly turn your mouse away from the Present Now button to prevent disruption. All questions will be accommodated during the open forum. All Google Meet participants may ask questions directly to the speaker, or you may send questions through our chat box. On the other hand, expert viewers may send in their questions through the webinar chat window. Please type the name of your institution or firm and to whom you want to address. Tick the Submit as a question box and hit Send. At the end of the session, please take time to answer the evaluation form, as this is our means of obtaining information from customers to continuously improve the OST6 products and services. We will send a certificate to those who submit accomplished feedback form through your email. The link for this will be announced later on. To Google Meet participants, may we remind to please register on the link flashed on the screen or chat box for attendance. We hope that these reminders are clear and followed. So is everyone ready to meet the experts and know more about their technologies? At this point, I will introduce our first speaker. She conducted researches mainly on microalgae and was published in local and international journals. Her researches resulted to a number of patent and utility model applications with IPOPHIL, or the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines. She is a member to professional organizations such as the Philippine Phycological Society of the Philippines, Inc., National Research Council of the Philippines, and Western Visayas Association of the Filipino Inventors, Inc., among others. Our first speaker, who is an expert on phycology, or what we commonly call algae, is a graduate of BS Fisheries in UP Diliman and Master of Aquaculture in UP Visayas. Please welcome Ms. Soledad S. Garibay, University Researcher 3 of the University of the Philippines, Visayas. She will present her technology on algal paste. Ma'am.
Good morning. How are you? I hope everybody's doing fine. This morning, I hope that you're all okay. So today I'm going to present to you the algal paste as aquafeed. And this work, together with me, is Professor Leticia J. Ami. retired professor of the Institute of Fisheries Processing and Technology, also the same college, College of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences. To begin with, let us first define the microalgae. So what are these microalgae? The microalgae are tiny plant organisms. They are so small that you cannot see the cell structure with the naked eye, but only through their colors that indicates their growth and cell density. Here are some examples. These are some of the microalgae species. Some of them are unicellular, others are chain forming, and they may come in different forms. But let me ask you a question. Do you experience this? What about this condition? I am very sure that all of us have been experiencing this kind of situations. In aquaculture, such situation creates a problem. Why? Because, example, this one's a green pond. Green microalgae are being cultured. After heavy downpour, the following day, this is what happened. We call that culture collapse. So now you have nothing to feed for your aquaculture commodity. Maintaining a quality, safe, and sufficient supply of natural food, such as the microalgae and zooplankton, are very important for your production cycles. So, we need a cost-effective, steady supply of natural food in hatcheries. To give you a brief background, the DOST Picard, through the National Aquafeeds R&D program, has helped us by funding us with a project on the development of microalgae paste from other algal species. So with that, our research output led to the development of the one algae paste. These are concentrated microalgae cells that we use to feed for our fish, shrimps, and other aquaculture species. The one algae paste are all natural, they are chemical free, and therefore it's eco-friendly. They're live, viable microalgae cells. So they're highly concentrated microalgae cells, and the shelf life is about 3 months under chilled conditions. That's from 0 to 5 degrees. So they are convenient to use because of the packaging material that we use. And you just mix them in water and you can already prepare that as feed. It is economical in that way wherein you do away with the construction of extra tanks for the microalgae culture. So the competitive advantage of our product over other products, in this case, imported products from reed mariculture and the brine shrimp direct. In terms of application, both products were used for the larval shrimp, fish, and bivalves, reef tanks, corals, and for growing rotifers. But you see the cost per unit of this technology, it costs even higher compared with our local ones. While the one algae paste, the one that we had produced, this is Pinoy made, readily available in our local market, and it is lower compared with all this. When you see if you have imported the algal paste, it would require you permits, also shipment fee, storage, and other things. So that makes it very expensive. The product has a clear market potential, and so we need to commercialize. And what would be the requirements for commercialization? As mentioned earlier, we have to secure material papers and documents with this. We need to apply the technology for IP, for intellectual property. We need certifications and business permits to go on with your business. And with that, you need to expand also production area to cater the needs of the industry. You need to add upgrade equipment. additional alcohol concentrator, the packaging and storage, and to generate working capital to scale up production. One algae paste to be commercialized would require licensees and partners. So that's how we started with our business. The intended primary market or beneficiaries of this one algae paste are milkfish hatcheries, wherein about 11 milkfish hatcheries with more than 1 million production per run are being operated at this time with a production volume of 416,000 metric tons. And also, we look for shrimp hatcheries that has a production volume of 58,000 metric tons. Quite a big market, if only we could penetrate all. So with regards to the IP protection and cost of technology, I mentioned it already, that our algal concentrator, this device, which concentrates and harvests microalgae cells, has already been applied for utility model under IP application number 22016001036. And the research output itself, the one algae paste, was applied under this application number 12018050149, while the one algae trademark is still a work in progress. The cost of technology to invest on this technology would require about 3 million. But the production cost per kilogram is about 724. That is subject to the increasing cost of materials and supplies nowadays. And the unit price that we have at this time, we sell them at 1,500 per kilogram. So what have we done so far? One, we were able to establish the Algacon Aquafeeds Manufacturing, or AAM. We started in June 2019. It was recognized as the first R&D spin-off company. And we're able to establish the partnership with Sante Aquaculture Science and Technology Foundation, who granted us 500,000 as an initial capital to go on with our commercialization. So what else? We are already started with the commercialization. So we plan to increase sales by widening market penetration, be visible in the market, and engage in new partnerships and collaborations, have aggressive advertising and product promotions. Also, we want to renovate and upscale production facilities in anticipation of increasing requirement that the industry would need, purchase of additional equipment and facilities, and to implement strictly the GMPs for production, or the good manufacturing practices, including the quality assurance and or the quality control unit. The current COVID pandemic continues, and this situation has significant impact on our economy. People's lives as well are all affected. But despite all this, AAM remains positively motivated to go on with the process. Yes, we will meet a lot of challenges, but we must continue and stay connected. So, to all aspiring entrepreneurs, let me just share this to you. According to Winston Churchill, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Of course, you will experience failures in your business, but it should not stop you from continuing, because you will learn a lot from those failures. Another strong statement from Richard Branson, also a businessman, who says, business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. So with that, these are the people behind the AAM, and these are the people, the right people, whom I always get the confidence to continue. Our production manager, and our production staff. And this was taken during our first anniversary last June. So we hope to be in the business for more years to come. Hopefully, let's pray for that. So finally, I'd like to thank Picard, UST Picard, for funding our project, the University of the Philippines Visayas for supporting us in this endeavor. Of course, the Coastline 5023, the DOST Picard, UPV Fisheries TBI, for mentoring us, coaching us in the business aspect. Sante Aquaculture Science and Technology Foundation, who's been with us all throughout, even from the beginning, starting from the research stage, and of course the AAM. The three colors stands for the diatoms for the brown, the green for the green microalgae, the photosynthetic microalgae, and the blue which stands for water, connecting all these species in one ecosystem. So if for those interested in the algal paste, you may contact us at this number. I hope we'll have continued relationship with you. And if you're interested, just call on this number. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Sol.
Good morning. How are you? I hope everybody's doing fine.
So thank you, Ma'am Sol. Everyone, please reserve your questions during the open forum. You may send it now through chat box and our technical person will take note of it. Our second speaker is also a product of UPV. He graduated in BS Fisheries as magna cum laude and finished his doctorate degree on aquatic bioscience in the University of Tokyo, Japan. His researches in the field of algal culture policies and algal biotechnology and molecular biology were published in local and international journals. Since 2008, our speaker has been working on projects that varies from biodiesel, algae, milkfish, mangrove crab, and genomics that are in collaboration with the UPV and DOST. Concurrent to his position as Associate Professor in the Institute of Aquaculture of the College of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences, he is the project leader of 4 more collaborative projects of UPV and DOST. At present, he is the Program Director of Philippine Genome Center Visaya Satellite Facility, which was established through the support of DOST and DOST PCHRD, or the Philippine Council for Health, Research, and Development. The facility has greatly helped in our fight against COVID-19, and their program director is one of the COVID-19 team who are behind the establishment of COVID-19 testing facilities in Western Visayas. So for today, our speaker will present his technology on remote-operated automatic bottom feeder. Please welcome Dr. Noel Marco Emmanuel N. Ferriols. Sir.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank the Department of Science and Technology and the organizers of this webinar for giving us an opportunity to present one of our innovations developed at the Institute of Aquaculture at the University of the Philippines Visayas through DOST support. So this particular innovation is what we call the remotely operated automatic bottom feeder for cage aquaculture, or the ROAB feeder. Now, to start things off, I'd like to pose one particular question. What is the future for Philippine aquaculture? And in order to understand, or in order to answer this, we have to look at it, or aquaculture, from a global perspective at first. So looking at the statistics from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, we see that there is an increasing trend in terms of aquaculture production, with the bulk of production coming from brackish and freshwater systems. But interestingly, starting the early 2000s, we see a gradual increase in production coming from the marine environment as well. With this in mind, the first to answer the first question, what's in store for the future of aquaculture, particularly in the Philippines? We could say that first, given the increasing trend overall, there is a sea of opportunity in aquaculture. But to be more specific, the future of aquaculture is actually towards the sea. And this involves the use of marine cages or fish cages to culture larger numbers of your fish for higher production volumes. Now, despite the potential of marine cage aquaculture, the opportunities in marine aquaculture has also spawned several problems, one of which is increased pollution, since cage aquaculture has been identified as one of the culprits for increased marine pollution along coastlines. The pollution comes mainly from excess feed because with manual feeding using sinking pellets, usually up to 60 to 70% of feeds could be wasted. Aside from that, the waste generated by the fish itself could also contribute to the increasing amount or buildup of fish sewage at the bottom of the fish cages, creating dead zones. Now, aside from marine pollution, cage aquaculture has also encountered problems in relation to low FCRs and different or varying sizes of your harvested fish upon harvest. And this is mainly because of manual feeding. When farmers use manual feeding, this is less controlled, and in a way, it is not as efficient as when using an automated system. When you use manual feeding, you end up with fish of different sizes, and fish of different sizes obviously would demand different prices. So upon harvest, you would get a bunch of small or a considerable amount of smaller sized, for example, milkfish that would cost you around 90 pesos per kilogram for farm gate prices. And your medium sized milkfish would be around 110 pesos per kilogram, with larger milkfish ranging at around 150 to up to 180 pesos per kilogram. But because of manual feeding and the uneven access of fish to the feeds in general, you end up with a larger portion of or larger percentage of smaller fish during harvest. Now, because of these problems, we see that there are also opportunities for new technologies to be implemented in cage aquaculture. Now, looking at the data of the different types of culture systems, we see that bulk of aquaculture production systems still focus on land-based pond systems. But you could see that more than 27% of aquaculture nowadays is contributed by cage aquaculture, and this segment is still growing. Means that there is an opportunity for new technologies in this particular segment of aquaculture. Looking at the Philippine perspective, from data coming from the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, we can see that for milkfish and tilapia, there are at the moment an average of around 3,500 cages for milkfish, which are larger cages, and smaller cages for tilapia in freshwater systems are around 45,000. Now, looking at these numbers, we see that there is a sizable market for new technologies to be implemented in order for this particular segment of aquaculture to expand. Now, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources has also allocated several mariculture zones across the Philippine archipelago, going as far north as northern Luzon and dotted mainly across the Visayas, with some aquaculture sites also in Mindanao. Now, in terms of, or given these opportunities, we'd like to present our innovation coming from the University of the Philippines, Visayas, as uh, supported by the Department of Science and Technology, which is the remotely operated automatic bottom feeder. It's an innovation to address issues of both feeding efficiency and the environmental impact of cage aquaculture. We initially developed this technology through a DOSTP card funded project entitled The Enhancement of Milkfish Culture Operations Through Mechanization, way back 2011. Now, we tried to come up with a prototype for the remotely operated bottom feeder, and I'd like to share some advantages of bottom feeding. First is with the type of fish that we are currently culturing. So let's say it's milkfish and tilapia. So if you look at the figure to your right, you'll see that the mouth orientation of these particular fish is designed for them to be mid-water feeders. Means that they eat most efficiently when they get their feed from the middle of the water column, not from the surface and not from the bottom. So coming up with an automated bottom feeder that releases floating pellets that would allow your fish even access to the feeds because it suits their feeding habits. Next is because we're using floating pellets that are released from the bottom, we get to maximize the entire water column as a feeding area, as compared to using a floating pellets that are manually released from the surface, wherein you limit the area for feeding at the surface of the fish cage. Aside from this, given that you're using the entire water column, it allows even access of fish to feeds, resulting in more uniform sizes. So with our trials using our automated bottom feeder, we've seen improvements in the feed conversion ratio as compared to manual feeding. Manual feeding feed conversion ratio is around 2.5. We were able to reduce this to around 1.7 to 1.9. Also, in terms of the size distribution of the harvested fish, in this instance, it's milkfish, we see that there's a higher concentration of medium to large and XL and even jumbo milkfish coming from cages that use the automated bottom feeder as compared to manual feeding, wherein you also still get milkfish of either extra small or extra small sizes. Now, aside from being more efficient in delivering feeds, we also like to tout the automatic bottom feeder as an environmentally conscious technology. First is because there is less feed wastage. Means that our uneaten feeds float to the top, still providing a chance for further consumption of these feeds by the cultured stock, as compared to when you're using sinking pellets that once they exit the cage environment, they're technically basically turned into waste. Aside from that, we've also designed the system to be solar powered, which allows us to deploy such equipment offshore. Now, looking at our innovation in perspective, comparing it to other available products in the market outside of the Philippines. First is, in terms of our technology, we release floating pellets from the bottom of the water column. Again, this is an efficient way to utilize the entire water column as a feeding area. It can also be remotely operated and provides continuous feed delivery even during inclement weather. And because of the design, we get to minimize feed wastage. Comparing it to a surface feeder pictured here, produced by one company based in Indonesia, which is called Fishery. They use either sinking or floating pellets from the water surface, so they release the pellets from the surface. Even if you use floating pellets, again, this limits the amount of or the space where your fish can feed. Aside from that, given that it's a surface feeder, your feeding frequency could be affected by inclement weather. And if you use sinking pellets for this particular equipment, it could still result in up to 60 to 70% of feed wastage. In terms of the feed conversion ratio, our innovation has come up with improved feed conversion ratios as compared to manual feeding. And we also get to program the automated bottom feeder to release the right volume of feeds so that everything is consumed. For the surface feeder coming from Indonesia, although no data has been presented, you could still imagine that feed conversion ratios would still be relatively high. Now, comparing this to another technology available abroad, which is a much larger system coming from Norway, our technology, the advantage of our technology is that it's locally manufactured. And because it's locally manufactured, you have readily available technical expertise in the Philippines. And this is important when it comes to after sales support. If your machine breaks down, we have people to come in to help you. In terms of feeders coming from abroad. Obviously, first they still need to be imported, and technical expertise will most likely still need to come from abroad. So that gives you kind of a backlog for after sales support. In terms of the cost of our system, so the locally manufactured feeder costs approximately 55,000 pesos as compared to the larger systems that are being produced in Norway, with one system which can range from 250,000 pesos to up to 1 million pesos per system. Now, just to put this, our the price tag on our automated bottom feeder into perspective, bulk of the cost comes from direct materials. These include the feed hopper, a monitoring camera, control box, which is basically a small computer that you program to release the feeds, and or solar panels as well. And you also have fabrication costs, which mainly entails labor costs. Now, in line with our goal to commercialize this product, we have already filed a patent for the automated bottom feeder. The patent was filed back in 2015 and it was published in 2018. Freedom to operate has already been granted, and this is what we're using to eventually to slowly commercialize this particular um, innovation. Now, we tried to come up with a business model canvas for this particular technology coming from UP Visayas as well. So this is just a brief, what do you call this, overview of our business model canvas for the automated bottom feeder. Obviously, some of our key partners would be your farmers and cage operators and the feed millers. The main activities related to commercializing this particular product is the actual development or production of the product. We also put a premium on our ability to provide after sales service and marketing. Resources that we would be needing would be skilled labor, product components, and product assembly, and also logistics for distribution. Now, looking at our value proposition, what we're mainly presenting is that you get uniformly fed fish stocks at low feed conversion ratios. You also get to reduce the cost of your feed, and more importantly, you get to reduce pollution from cage aquaculture. So, in order to get this, our value proposition prime means that you use an automated feeding system utilizing bottom released feeds to provide even and efficient feed access, which also reduces feed wastage with optimized feeding schemes and mechanisms. So we aim to come up with a community of environmentally conscious farmers in terms of our customer base or customer relationship. This will allow us to further co-develop the product, to improve the product based on feedback coming from our farmers. Obviously, for our customer segment, we're targeting a niche market, which is cage aquaculture. Now, just to wrap things up, to show you the timeline of how this particular technology was developed. As I mentioned earlier, we started way back in 2011 with a small scale prototype as a proof of concept that bottom feeding could work. By 2012, we came up with a full scale prototype and field tested it at the UP Visayas hatchery. By 2013, we tested our full-scale prototype in a commercial farm in Cebu, and we tested it during 3 culture cycles. That's where we got our data on improved food conversion ratio and better size distribution of our harvest. So for the future, we hope to improve the ROAB design to be more commercially viable, and 2022 onwards, we hope for more widespread use of the ROAB feeder in cage aquaculture sites throughout the Philippines. So going back to the question, what is the future for Philippine aquaculture? And as previously answered, the future of aquaculture is towards the sea, but because of our innovations now, we could easily say that the future of aquaculture is smart. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you were able to get considerable information with regards to the innovations that we've produced at the Institute of Aquaculture. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fariols. Our, our third and last technology presenter is an expert on fish nutrition, food formulation, and shellfish immunology. Her various research involvements were published in local referred journal, and 33 of them were published in Scopus and ISI Index journal. 4 utility models on feed formulation for fish and shrimp were registered under her name. Our speaker for today is also a graduate of UP Visayas and had her doctorate degree in aquatic biosciences in the Tokyo University of Fisheries in Japan. Let's welcome Dr. Mary Jane S. Apines Amar, University Researcher and conferred as Career Scientist 1 by the National Academy of Science and Technology or NASDOST. She will present her technology on the green mussel hatchery. Ma'am.
There are seven major aquaculture species in the Philippines, and the mussel or tahong is one of the only two mollusk species being farmed in the country. The other one is oyster. Demand for bivalves is growing. For tahong in particular, demand exceeds production, hence prices keep on increasing. High demand has resulted in 5 to 10% price increases in international and domestic markets. In the Philippines, grow-out production of tahong is low because of unstable and depleted tahong seed stocks from the natural sources where growers fully depend for their seed supply. Tahong production is only 0.9% of the total aquaculture production. Hence, the industry is bent on producing tahong spots from the hatchery to augment the seed supply and have high and sustainable production. Hatcheries must now be part of an integral component of mussel aquaculture. In 2014, the Green Mussel Hatchery was launched in UP Visayas, Miagao, as a pioneering effort in the establishment of Green Mussel Hatchery in the country. This project was funded by the Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic and Natural Resources Research and Development, or PICARD, DOST. The Mussel Hatchery project was initiated to provide consistent supply of healthy tahong seed stock, which will give growers much more security by reducing risks inherent in sourcing mussel larvae from the wild. And the technology also provide greater opportunities to increase grow-out production levels by having available spots all over a longer period of each year. And also, the mussel hatchery technology will make tahong available in the market throughout the year. The hatchery technology will support a sustainable mussel industry. Based on the ex-ante analysis of the project conducted by the team from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, 100% technology transfer is predicted to be attained in 2027. If the technology will be adopted by the industry, steady seed supply could be assured, production could be increased, and could be sustained at high levels. The target market for this technology would be the mussel hatchery and nursery operators. 6 modules are presented here to show the investment requirement and profitability of the technology. There are 2 conditions being considered here. The first is without existing hatchery structure. So meaning there is a need to construct a hatchery building. And the second is with existing hatchery building. So this is, for example, making use of other old hatcheries for other species which are not anymore used. So this is also possible. So there's no need to build, a structure for this hatchery. And there are three modules na prepared under each condition. One is the straight production from D-hinge to 1 cm spot. So this is a straight production from hatchery until the nursery phase. And another one is production from D-hinge to 1 mm early spot stage. So this is the hatchery stage only. And another module is production from 1 mm early spot to 1 cm spot, or this is the nursery phase only. And the startup financial requirement for this technologies is around 1 to 1.15 million if there is no existing hatchery building, but would be reduced to about 500 to 600,000 if there is hatchery building already. And this is the projected income and financial viability on the different modules of a hatchery with an area of 250 to 300 square meters, which can accommodate around 350,000 spots per cycle. Modules with existing building are more financially viable than models without building. And they have higher net farm income, net profit margin. They have high return on investment and shorter payback period, and with high internal rate of return. And among the modules, the nursery operation is more profitable than the rest, with or without building. As nursery operation cannot proceed without the hatchery production, it is recommended that the hatchery phase, or from D-hinge to 1 mm early spot production, which is the most sensitive stage in mussel production, be carried out by the government or research institutions. And the hatchery produced 1 mm early spots can be sold to the nursery operators for further culture until 1 cm spots. This is one of the beneficiaries of the hatchery-produced mussel spots. We sent the spots to Barangay Masinloc, Ahoy, Iloilo for restocking of their depleted natural resource. So this is one of our hatchery-produced mussel spots. And these are also the hatchery-produced mussel 49 days after we stock them at 1 cm in Ahoy. So we observed no high survival during our monitoring. So this is another batch of the hatchery produced stocks, which was also brought to the same site in Ahoy. We also sent spots to DOST for their project with the home farmers in Masbate. So these are the pictures they sent to us showing fast growth and high survival of the hatchery produced spots. And we are grateful to Picard DOST for the research fund they have provided to us, and UP Visayas for the support extended to the project. And these are the people behind this mussel hatchery project. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Dr. Amar. So that was our third and last technology offering for today. These technologies, the algal paste, remotely operated automatic bottom feeder, and green mussel hatchery, are now ready for transfer and commercialization. So according to the Republic Act number 10055 or the Philippine Technology Transfer Act of 2009, all research and development studies funded by the government will conform to the RA 10055 for the ownership, management, use, and commercialization of intellectual property generated. This law is our basis for the technology transfer and commercialization. To present the technology transfer and commercialization procedure of UPV, let us hear from Ms. Mylene Leghid, Business Development Officer, UPV Technology and Business Development Office. Ma'am.
Today's world economy is increasingly based on intertwining of knowledge, information, and entrepreneurship. This economic trend demands for the intensification of industry-academic engagement in the quest for technological discoveries and innovations that will serve the needs of the society. UP and the state universities and colleges play a key role in this process, being the seed ground of highly qualified personnel and depository of basic and applied scientific researches. Good morning to all of you who are participating in this webinar. First, I would like to thank and congratulate UST Region 6, particularly to the team of Regional Director Engineer Rowan Ilonga and the Fairness Opinion Board for giving the University of the Philippines Visayas the opportunity to feature our mature technologies ready for commercialization or translation into product or services, as well as to introduce our newly established Technology Transfer and Business Development Office, or TTBDO, which was approved last June 10, 2019. So now I will discuss to you technology commercialization from UPV to the marketplace. But first, let me speak about the newly established TTBDO, which is pursuant to the following policies and laws. UP Intellectual Property Rights Policy of 2011, Republic Act 8293, and Republic Act 155. This technology transfer and business development initiative will serve as one of the core functions of the university in advancing its tripartite mandate to contribute in economic development in the country with significant impact. So what are the mandates and functions of TTBDO? First, technology and IP portfolio management. This involves scouting of potential technologies for disclosure, IP protection, and packaging of technologies for commercialization. Second, industry linkaging, collaborations, and partnerships. That is, to promote industry engagement initiatives through strategic collaborations in transforming breakthrough technologies of the university into products, licensing, and new venture agreements. Third, technology transfer and commercialization. And fourth, training and consultancy services related to IP protection and technology commercialization. So our mission is UPTTBDO, we bridge technology and society, and the bridge there has a meaning, advancing beneficial, relevant innovations that are driven towards global excellence to bring impact to society. And for our vision, to be the recognized leader in translating knowledge and technology that benefits the society by 2024. And we have the following 6 objectives. First, build a trusted, reliable, and sustainable technology transfer team. Second, create the quality assured system and infrastructure to support the technology transfer activities. Third, nurture a vibrant entrepreneurial culture to facilitate adoption of university technologies. And fourth, strengthen UP Visayas technology transfer portfolio in areas that have high commercial interest and societal impact. Fifth, cultivate strategic and mutually beneficial partnerships with the community and industry. And lastly, accelerate the commercialization of innovation with positive social and economic impact. So now we will talk about technology transfer and mode of transfer. Now, which is one of the main functions of TTBDO. So what is technology transfer? According to AUTM, tech transfer is the process of transferring scientific findings from one organization to another for the purpose of further development and commercialization. If the scientific findings or R&D has already a proof of concept, no, it has already a prototype or minimum viable product that is ready to be marketed, then the process can go directly to commercialization, and that hence technology commercialization. And the tech transfer process includes identifying new technologies, protecting technologies through IP, intellectual property rights, protection, and then forming strategies for deployment. So what are the mode of deployment or transfer? So one can have licensing, an agreement under which the owner of a patent, trademark, or other intellectual property gives permission to another company to use the technology developed in a certain area during a certain period of time. It may either be exclusive or non-exclusive. And then second option is a spin-off. It's a startup company created by any of the technology generators or employee of the university commercializing the technology. Then another mode is a joint venture, a collaboration between the university and another party. The university may license the rights of a technology in return for an equity share in the new venture. And then the outright sale, the transfer of the university technology without giving any restrictions to the recipient, usually conducted at the university, deems that there are no further potential use for the particular technology. So here are the procedure to commercialize UTV technologies. First is the technology selection and initial negotiations. So we identify the technology, its status, and the required investment. And with that, we will determine the mode of tech transfer as discussed earlier. And then second is the submission of initial required documents of the applicants. No? These are letter of intent, USD term sheet, business plan, and business model canvas, and then the due diligence report. We use the prescribed term sheet of DOST, and we are looking at the following salient points in the negotiations. First is the background of the prospective licensee, the type of business formation, corporation, it may either be a corporation or a partnership or a sole proprietorship or a cooperative, and then its years of existence, its present net worth and assets, if they have already the facilities, and also the planned capitalization. Then the second part is the financial terms, no? The licensing term or the duration of the license, then the extent of right. It may either be exclusive, non-exclusive, or sub-licensing. And then the licensing fees, no? The required one-time upfront payments, and then the royalty rate that to be applied for, and then also terms on exclusivity, the field of use, and also the geographical coverage. And then third is the application assessment, preparation of documents by TTBDO. So commitment of, we get the commitment of operation of the technology generator, and then also we made an endorsement letter and approval of the chancellor, and then we request for fairness opinion report. And usually this fairness opinion report is directed to DOST Region 6. And then fourth is once everything are okay, we finalize the transaction. We already have the endorsement approval of the chancellor, the fairness opinion report, and written recommendation from the UST, and then we come up with a technology licensing agreement based on the term sheet. And then with that, we will have the signing and awarding of TLA. So we require the payment of the necessary fees, as mentioned earlier, the upfront fees. Then we have the notice to award, notice to proceed, finalization of documents. and the finalization of documents. And then lastly, we do the monitoring and evaluation. So we request the licensee to submit their sales report and financial reports in annually. And then of course, if there is an enhancement or improvement, we request for a technology report. So during the first year of TTBDO, we were able to create our first spin-off, the technology commercialization of the algal paste by the technology generator herself, Soledad Garibay, under AlgaCon Aquapaste Manufacturing, which was founded last June 1, 2019. The company was able to get a startup grant of 500,000 from Santi Foundation. So we hope that in this webinar, we will be able to get more potential technology adapters of our selected technologies. To reach us, you may contact us at ttbdomail@upv.edu.ph, or you may like us or follow us on Facebook under the name UPV TTBDO. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Mylene. The DOST has identified the needs of startups for assistance in technology acquisition, establishment, and business development. We know, and of course, you also knew that it's not easy to start a business. Through the Technology Business Incubation Program, or what we call TBI, innovation and technopreneurship is promoted. And technology-based startup businesses are assisted or supported during their incubation period. To know more about this program and offerings, Ms. Amithil M. Pernito, Project Assistant 3 of UPV Fisheries Technology Business Incubator, Coastline 5023, will present the Technology Business Incubator, or TBI, for startups of UPV. Ma'am Amithil.
Hello everyone, I am Amita, an FTBI staff, and today I will present to you the UPV FTBI's startup services. Coastline 5023 DOSTB card UPV Fisheries TBI, or well known as FTBI, is a technology transfer and business development project of UP Visayas funded by DOSTB card. FTBI, or Fisheries Technology Business Incubator, serves as a venue for the dynamic interactions among the academe, industry, and the private sector. For the purpose of accelerating economic activity and to ensure its benefits will reach everybody in the society. Just like an incubator, FTBI also promotes the hatching of innovative ideas into new technology-based enterprises, just like these startup companies. As reflected in our vision and mission statements, we are envisioning a sustainable fishery industry by promoting and developing scientific and technology-based enterprises. And to meet this, we have the following objectives: maximize and advance R&Ds of UPV to the market, promote the creation of tech-based startups, to provide innovative and entrepreneurial ecosystem, and also provide a physical facility and access to UPV resources, and to provide employment and livelihood opportunities. Here is the development framework of FTBI. FTBI at the center, as the implementer of the incubation process, will bridge the technologies and services of the university by conducting seminars, trainings, and workshops that soon will be accessed by the incubatees if they will engage with the incubator, so that the technology generated by the university and or the technology adopted by the incubatee will be commercialized to build startup enterprises that produces innovative driven products and services that will soon create wealth, jobs, and impact to the society. It is also important to note that active collaborations and partnership with external partners are also part of the development framework of FTBI as business enablers or accelerators. Our target incubatees are the faculty and researchers, graduate students, UP alumni, OFWs, local investors, farmers, fishers, people's organizations, associations, and cooperatives. And there are two types of incubation, the in-wall and out-wall. In-wall incubation are those applicable for the incubatees that are located within the walls and perimeters of UPV, while the out-wall incubation is the opposite. This incubation is applicable for those incubatees that are located in their respective or desired places. FTBI's technology focus is on fisheries-based technologies. However, FTBI also caters agriculture-based and other technologies. For the target commodities, FTBI's target commodity is mostly aquatic resources. In terms of products and services, FTBI offers technology development and business development services. For the technology development services, we have trainings on technical skills development and technology transfer and also consultancy. For business development services, we conduct business plan creation workshops and also finding industry partner linkaging and also sourcing, and also helps in business registration. FTBI also offers a physical facility, and we have the business office space with 22 seating capacity co-working space. We have also the 6 units office space. Also a shared admin services with internet and photocopying services. We have also workstations for aquaculture and fish processing technologies, and also analytical laboratory services. The business incubation process of FTBI involves 5 steps. First is the technology identification, where the technology suitable or available for the startup is identified. And once identified, the interested applicant may submit their application for assessment, and if accepted, the applicant will become an incubatee and will undergo the startup or business development, which are trainings, mentoring or coaching, industry matching, and also fund sourcing, so that they will proceed to the next steps, which are the acceleration, graduation, or post-acceleration. Here are the TBI packages and requirements. We have 2 packages, Package A and Package B. Package A is 7,000 per month, and Package B is 2,500 pesos per month. Also shown on the screen are the requirements needed for the application. For more information, you can also like our FB page, +9 5023 DOST UPB Fisheries TBI. Here is the selection criteria that is used by FTBI, and as you can see, the highest percentage goes to the creativity and innovation, which is 40%, and the rest have 20%, financial viability, the organizational leadership, and social impact. Here is an example of a training and business incubation plan. There are a series of boot camps, also a power action mentoring and monitoring, also a power action training clinics, and also the Power TBI acceleration program. For the innovation events or huddle, we have the Tech Speak held every month, where there is an invited speaker that will share his expertise and knowledge that can aid in the operation of business or business creation. Also, the Industry Meet UP, which is held quarterly. This is an innovation exhibit or fair
where incubatees are allowed to showcase their products and services to the market. And lastly, the One Bottomless Cup, which is a gathering for the purpose of monitoring and exchanging of innovative ideas that is held every first and second Tuesday of the month. Now let me show you the highlights of accomplishments of FTBI for the past 3 years. So be a startup founder and jumpstart your business with us.
Thank you, Ms. Pernito, for the information of our MSMEs and would-be technopreneurs. We have 5 TBIs in Western Visayas, 1 in Capiz State University, Dayao Campus in Rojas City, Capiz, 1 in TUPV, or the Technological University of the Philippines, Visayas in Talisay, Negros Occidental, 1 in ISATU, 1 in WVSU or the West Visayas State University, and 1 in UPV for the Iloilo province. We would like to the participants to briefly introduce themselves, their office or firm, then state their question and to whom you address the questions. So who would like to go first? Participants in Google Meet, you can ask directly to the speakers. Okay, so anyway, we have a question from one expert chat. Okay, so from Sir Julius Remar, Gaviota of DOST. Question is for Sir Noel, for y'alls. One of the considerations of some fish owners like in Mindoro and Pangasinan, Batangas, and Romblon is that they use floating feeds through manual casting in cages because they can monitor whether or not the feed is consumed and to estimate the population of fishes. How would a remote operated automatic bottom feeder address this? So for Sir Noel,
Okay. To answer the question, can you hear me?
yes, sir.
Okay. So to answer the question, yeah, one of the advantages of using floating pellets as is manually fed is that you get to monitor. With the automatic bottom feeder, technically you're also using what they call this floating pellets. Now the monitoring of your stock comes in when, for example, um, you keep on releasing feeds. The fish consume it mid-water. When excessive feeds are already given, you end up observing more feeds at the surface because the tendency of the feed is if it's uneaten, it will keep floating up to the surface. So once you see that there is a considerable amount of feed at the surface, ibig sabihin hindi na kumakain yung isda, and that's when you could stop it. It will also the automatic bottom feeder also will rely on farmers being able to try to calibrate it based on their stocking density. So makikita naman, ma-observe naman whether at this, for example, feeding rate during a feeding regime, mas madaming na-observe na feeds na nagpo-float na sa taas instead of being consumed mid-water. So with that in mind, you could adjust the settings of the automatic bottom feeder to only release a certain amount of feed during feeding time so that hindi siya excessive sa pag-release niya.
Okay, thank you, Sir Noel. Okay, so here's another question from Google Meet. Risa Castro na Orbe of Capiz State University, Dayao Satellite Campus. Question for Ma'am Sol. Thank you for your inspiring presentation. What are the key points or the practices that you are doing in MMA that you share for business sustainability? Thank you. Ma'am Sol.
Thank you, Marisa, for that question. First, Marisa has been with us during the first stage of our research, and I know she knows a lot about this research project, but then later she was able to transfer in the academe. And may I just correct, Marisa, it's not MMA, this is AAM, which stands for on Aquafeeds Manufacturing. So anyway, you're asking about the key points or on the practices that we are doing now at the AAM. Well, of course, number one is you must work with the right person. That's very important for me. You need to know their commitment, their loyalty, and most especially working with the people around us, we need to be very transparent, especially that we should be united and working harmoniously together. So I think one important key there for a business is to work with the right persons. And I think I have them right now. These key persons are these people who've been working with me ever since. They know the product very well, so they know what our secrets are. So within our group, we know what to do. So if there are problems, troubleshooting, we can do it right away. And in fact, these people are well equipped, well trained, that you can even ask them for help or assistance if in case you need something to know about the algal paste. Also, aside from that, we are continually monitoring, daily monitoring of the paste product. That is very important to keep the product in good shape, in good quality. In that way, people who would request for it would continue to, there'll be repeat orders since we are already commercializing the product. And for now, we need to penetrate the market because the COVID pandemic had a bit affected us, especially in limiting our mobility. Sorry for that. It has allowed us very limited mobility to access some of our clients. So for now, what I can say is that we are just continuing with our production, and we are also communicating. We are here staying connected and trying to reach out for more people who would be able to use the product, and with the help of everyone, especially the academy who are also contacting us, know that we can spread the good news that we have this locally product, this Pinoy made algal paste that we are very proud of. So I think, Marisa, if you're listening, I don't know if you have follow-up question. That's all.
Thank you, Ma'am Sol. Actually, here's another question from Ma'am Marisa. Are you still looking for SUC collaborators for D-Hinge application? Thank
I
you.
think that should be answered by Ma'am Jane.
Good morning. The second phase of the mussel hatchery project ended last November 2019. And at present, we do not have production. But we are open for collaboration with SUCs and other agencies that are work on mussel hatchery.
Okay na, ma'am. Sige. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am Mary Jane, thank you. So here's another question from Sir Reynero Herrera of Guimaras State College. The ROAB technology is very promising. Kudos. I'm just wondering, sir, in the future aspect, do you see any major disadvantage of such? Further, is it susceptible or can tolerate isolated oil spill in case? Okay, so Sir Noel.
Hey, thank you for the question. How do I say this? So any technology will have its disadvantages. In the case of new technologies coming in, one of the main problems would be yung resistance to adapting to new changes. And that's one thing we've seen not only in the fishery sector but in agriculture and the food production sector in general. Matagal na tayong may Modernization Act. We've had several pushes for mechanization not only in fisheries but also in agriculture. But the problem is sometimes for not only our farmers pero yung the general industry has certain level of resistance in adopting new technology. Sometimes they say it's not broken, why fix it? But the problem with that is if you look at, for example, our population, it gets bigger and bigger. So the current production of our agriculture and fishery sectors cannot sustain the growth of our population with the current production, with our current production trends. So what we need is really to implement innovations in both agriculture and fisheries. And we hope to, part and parcel of our efforts to develop new technologies is also to educate the future users of these technologies. Um, Another disadvantage na sinasabi nila with mechanization in general is that your kumbaga mawawala ng trabaho yung mga farmers if everything is mechanized. This kind of argument can easily be debunked by looking at the average age of our farmers here in the Philippines. The average age of farmers in the Philippines is actually 57 years old. Malapit na mag-senior citizen. And you don't have new blood coming in because they see agriculture, they see food production as something that is not sexy, not technologically adept as compared to, let's say, information technology or other corporate-based jobs. So if we infuse agriculture, if we infuse fisheries with technology-based solutions, we get to paint this particular sector as something more sexy, something more interesting, for the younger generation to get into, so that we end up with a population of farmers that is not aging but more younger population of farmers who are more technologically savvy. So yun yung ano, I think it's more related in how we try to sell the technologies. The disadvantage that we see is how we get people to actually see the importance of mechanizing, of adopting new technologies, and how this could contribute not only in uplifting our agriculture and fishery sector, but more importantly in how it can support the growing population of the Philippines. Now, it's good that you pointed out something about how natural man-made disaster like an oil spill can affect, for example, the automatic bottom feeder technology. So at this point in time, a lot of our cages are surface-based, but recently there have been developments about fish cages that are submerged. Now, when you talk about oil spills, pag mag-oil spill, usually yung oil nasa taas lang yan eh. It floats on the water. If we could adopt, for example, submerged cages, the automatic bottom feeder will be a good tandem or a good partner for these submerged cages to allow continuous feeding even if an oil spill occurs. So yung design ng mga submerged cages, usually, nasa surface din talaga sila. But when natural disasters come, like for example, a storm, you could submerge the entire facility so that it is not exposed to wave action, the strong wave action during storms. The same case could be probably said during oil spills. Oil spill mainly occurs sa surface. So if you have an oil spill alert, you could submerge your cages, and then in order to provide feeds for the fish without necessarily affecting, without necessarily having to pass through that oil spill if you use sinking pellets, for instance, that's where the automatic bottom feeder could provide an advantage as well. So it's a very good insight. I appreciate the question on the oil spill, and maybe we could further develop the technology to take those instances in mind, so that mas disaster proof sana yung technology. So yeah, maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, Dr. Farias. Okay, so any more questions? You can ask directly here in. I mean, you can ask directly to our expert, Sir Dr. Noel Farias, Ma'am Sol Garibay, and Dr. Mary Jane Amar. Okay, so if you have.
Hello.
Okay, go.
Hello, good morning. This is Kathleen from the OST. To Sir Feriol, sir, we have invited a couple of small pond operators in this webinar. If they are interested to try the remote operated automatic bottom feeder, where can they buy a unit, sir?
So at this point in time, we only have prototypes. So what we could do is probably assemble a couple more prototypes for them, so that they could test it. Aside from the bottom feeder, actually, yung bottom feeder is designed for fish cages because the water depth that you use in fish cages is much deeper as compared to fish ponds where yung water depth ranges from zero point 0.5 to 1 meter lang. Malaki na din kung 1.5 if you're culturing shrimp. So for that, we also actually developed a surface feeder, very similar to the ones available abroad. And this is the type of feeder that we have used with some of our partners in Cebu as well. So if if some of the pond operators are interested, we could try to set up some prototypes for them to test as well. Because at this point in time, we're still trying to improve the technology din eh. So if they are interested, we could partner up with them so that we could provide some prototypes to them so that they could try it out for themselves sa ponds nila.
Thank you, sir. Also, sir, if there are, for example, interested fabricators who want to fabricate your the ROA, the remote
Yeah.
automatic, yeah. Is UPB open for it,
Yes.
sir?
Yes, we're very open, mainly because yun yung one of the things that we currently lack here at UPV is appropriate expertise for more in for fabricating this up to more industrial standards. Kumbaga, so if you could connect us with fabricators who could provide better fabrication material and better fabrication workflow or the designs that we have, we would very much appreciate that as well.
Okay, that's great, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Kitlin, for the question, and Dr. Furios, thank you for the answer. Okay, so any more questions? Okay, so we have here a question from one expert chat group. Question is from Sir Juni Kahilig from Capi State University. The question is for Dr. Apines Amar. Do you have a comparison between the naturally and hatchery bred spat in terms of production and disease resistance?
Thank you for the question. For the comparison with the naturally existing spots, however, we have not conducted it because we do not have source of naturally produced spots. So what we only have is our hatchery produced spots. So we just got good stock, from the wild, and then brought it to the hatchery to spawn. But for the wild stock, we do not have. We have not conducted that yet. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Bation, ma'am. Okay.
But
Okay
that
na.
is a good area also to study, provided that we can have enough naturally produced muscle spots.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Amar. Okay, so any more questions from our participants? Participants from 1E? Participants from Google Meet? Okay. So, thank you. I think that's the last question for today. So anyway, if you have any questions later, you may contact the following offices flash on the screen if you're interested to avail of the technologies discussed or for any of your concerns. So you may also contact the UPV-TTBI. Okay, so posted on the screen is also the link to the evaluation form. We would love to hear feedback from you and hope that all participants can take time to send us before leaving the webinar. We will send certificates through email to those who submitted the evaluation form. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, so here's if you want to stay updated with future expert O webinars through the One Expert website at www.oneexpert.gov.ph and One Expert FB page at facebook.com/oneexpertph. Okay, and here's the email and the contact numbers if you want to avail of the technologies, and if you have startup businesses, you can contact the UPV TBI CL5023.ftbi@gmail.com or cell phone number 0917-136-4428. And for general questions, you can seek from our expert. You can go to oneexpert.ph@gmail.com. Okay, so please, before leaving, please do the evaluation. Please, okay. So in behalf of the DOST 6, thank you very much to the College of Ocean Sciences and to UPV as a whole for accepting our request, and to the speakers, the expert in their field, for sharing new and innovative technologies. Thank you to all the participants and viewers. Keep safe, everyone. So that ends our webinar for today. We hope that this activity will introduce ideas and possible business opportunities. Thank you. Please click on the link for evaluation. Thank you, everyone.